What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 5 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons October 2025 tournament. This is the last round before the cut to top 8, so let's just get into those decks. First up, we have Joe D on Devourer Combo, aka Flinker. This one's been popping up a lot recently, doing very well in several large tournaments. If you're not familiar with the main card in the combo, Phyrexian Devourer, it is a 6-drop 1/1 and has the text: if Phyrexian Devourer's power is 7 or greater, destroy it. But for 0, you can activate it, remove the top card of your library from the game, put a +X/+X counter on Phyrexian Devourer equal to the card's casting cost. Now that doesn't sound like much, and honestly sounds like a bit of a gamble because you go 7 or over, it kills itself. However, there are several ways the deck responds to that trigger. The first one being right next to it in the deck photo, Altar of Dementia, which lets you mill out your opponent equal to however large Phyrexian Devourer is, and of course the F in the Flinker part of this deck name, Fling. And I just want to be clear about the Phyrexian Devourer trigger. You can keep responding to that sack trigger by keep increasing its power, so you can make it as large as you want to either mill out your opponent with the Altar or lethal damage with Fling. Now, Phyrexian Devourer is the only card that does this in Premodern. However, you are also running 4 copies of Tinker, a good toolbox card to go find you lots of different pieces. So let's just run through the full list here because we're covering the key cards, but all these other pieces are important too. For a little bit of ramp, he has 4 Mind Stones and 3 Lotus Petals, both also, and I guess every artifact we mentioned from here on out, good Tinker targets to go find whatever key piece you need. 4 Tangle Wires to slow down the board to the point where Joe can get to his combo. 3 Defense Grids to protect his combo the turn he wants to go off, and 3 Tasabo's Web. Both a little bit of card draw when at ETBs, but also can slow down the board. As for non-artifact spells, it looks like he has the full 4 Flings and full 4 Tinkers, which makes sense. 4 Impulses, 1 Fact or Fiction. There was, I believe, 1 Lone card in this deck, so that one of Gold Sleeve is an Intuition. And the cards right below that are actually the sideboard. We'll get into those in a minute. That confused me for a second. As for lands, looks like he's running 4 Shivan Reefs, 4 Ancient Tombs, 4 Gemstone Mines, 3 Crystal Veins, 4 City of Brass, and 3 City of Traders. Lots of soul lands to ramp and a little bit of color to, of course, pay for the red and blue spells. Speaking of red and blue spells, in the sideboard he's got 2 red elemental blasts, 3 hydro blasts, and 3 blue elemental blasts for a little bit of counter magic in those opposite colors. To clear the board, he's got 3 pyroclasms and 4 rushing rivers, which I've always thought has been kind of too slow until I actually played with them, and they are a very good card for bouncing pesky pieces back to your opponent's hand. Overall, this is a really sweet list. I love to see this deck do well. Hopefully we get to see it combo off at least once, but before then, who's he playing against? Next up, we have UC rocking red-green Angry Elves. Now, I believe this list is largely based off of Curran's Premodern list that he brings, with maybe some slight tweaks, but I do see the 2 of Deranged Hermits and the 2 of Masticores that are pretty standard for one of his style lists, as well as the 3 Priest of Titanias. And the sidebar looks like very similar cards in at least one of the more recent iterations of Curran's list. And we've seen this list do very well, obviously. I believe UC has played this on the channel before. These are all, for the most part, proxy, I believe, which are 100% fine in our monthly, if you're not familiar with that. And while sometimes we get people with black and white printouts, this is obviously a nice upgrade, especially for on camera. I'm not gonna run through every card here because it is fairly stock. Like I mentioned, there is the double Masticore, double Deranged Hermit. He's using Tribal Force Mage over Kamal. There's no Well-Wisher or Biorhythm or anything like that. It's pretty just stock, standard good stuff elves. I will go through the sideboard though, as it is a opportunity for some flex spots. Looks like he's running a Tranquil Domain, 2 Tormod's Crypts, 4 Wall of Blossoms, the full 4 Call of the Herds, and 4 Naturalize. Very strong list. Obviously seen it do very well, win monthlies, and UC is a very good player, so I'm sure this will be a very interesting match. So let's get into it. And here we go. We have Joe on the left, UC on the right. Now, I do think this game 1 generally favors the combo deck, especially if they get to be able to play, which looks like Joe will be. Especially with all those naturalizes in the sideboard, currently UC only having really 1 way to interact with what Joe's doing with an Antugo Vigilante. Obviously, he can slow down the board with a quickly resolved Tangle Wire, but Joe has a decent amount of permanents as well, and is playing Tangle Wire as well, so I think it's a bit more even than it would normally be. And both players deciding if they're keeping here. Joe looks like he's good to go, and UC's going to shuffle it back, so we'll cut to when he has a keepable hand. Okay, UC looking for 6 here. The elf deck can mulligan pretty well, having the Multani's Acolyte being able to bounce it to hand as well. Joe giving us a quick peek at his hand. I saw a Tinker. I don't know if I saw any other combo pieces, but looked like a fairly solid hand. And UC has a keepable one as well, so Joe will start us off. Oh, he has Alter Dementia and Tinker, so we could see a potential turn 2 here, depending on what Joe draws. Alright, UC gonna play the Kieran Ranger and pass. And I believe Joe needed a Lotus Petal here to truly combo turn 2. We're gonna play a Mind Stone here. Tap for 2. Play another Mind Stone. Okay. And say go. And UC has this turn to deal with the altar, or slow the board down enough. If he doesn't, Joe's just going to Tinker for the Devourer and combo off that way. UC going to flood the board here, hit you for 1. Joe taking a lot of damage off those soul lands, but is about ready to just win the game. I'm not sure what he's considering playing around. Both those creatures have Summoning Sickness. There's no Force of Vigor in Premodern, so just gonna play a land for a turn just in case. Maybe there's a green daze or something. But we are gonna go for Tinker here. I have to imagine. Just close this game out, get to game 2. Alright, gonna take 1 for some blue. Take 2. Takes 3, goes to 12. Could have tapped technically both the Mind Stones for mana, but is going to Tinker here. Go find a Devourer. Devourer is such a cool, funny card. Was not good in Alliances when it was printed, but is very good in the Premodern format. So I'm not sure if UC is super familiar with how this combo works. I think Joe's going to walk him through it, which will be great because he can walk us through it as well. So essentially, and I went through this in the deck tech, and I know some of you don't watch the deck techs, but he can start the process of exiling cards to put counters. And UC is going to get a bunch of dice ready, but essentially, Joe's going to keep doing this until he reaches a critical mass of cards. And UC trying his best to keep up. It won't really matter unless there's a Guy's Blessing in his deck, which we saw there wasn't. Also, Joe, you might want to fix the order of some of your cards. Yeah, so he's just going to keep going through this. Maybe not describing how this is really going to work, or maybe UC just wanting to see it work card by card, but essentially Joe can go through the majority of his deck, get to over 60 cards worth of mana value fairly easily, and will then mill UC out for the rest. So I think talking through what's happening here, and yeah, UC reading this a bit too. UC not super familiar with the Premodern scene, has only been to 1 monthly, I believe, and this is not a deck you see a lot, or I should say UC hasn't seen a lot. We've seen it some. But once you see it work once, you kind of get the gist. However, Joe of course has the line of flinging it as well, which he is not revealing in this game. He did, I think, reveal a fling off the top of the deck, so UC might know it's there if he caught it, but UC could also ask him to get to the total mana value just so you can see what other cards are in Joe's deck. That is extra information, and in fact, we're actually going to cut to when UC sees lethal and scoops it up. Alright, catching back in UC has seen 56 CMC cards worth milled, has run through it really quick, and Joe explaining, I mill you for at least 56 cards. UC gonna scoop it up, and we're going to game number 2. And here we are in game number 2. So UC did see the fling upon going through the deck. That was a smart thing to do. You get more information on a deck you're not familiar with and a format you're not super familiar with. So Joe, with a lot less tricks up his sleeve, is actually going to be mulliganing here, so we'll cut to when he has a keepable hand. And we're back with Joe looking for 5 here. He had a interesting hand for 6, including an intuition and a altar. Looks like he still has the intuition here. This is a lot of lands. I think his problem before was too few, so at least with putting 2 back, you're not totally flooded, but has a Mind Stone still to draw something, can do some things. And yes, looks like he did find a keepable 5 with the potential to combo still. With that intuition, he just needs to find one other piece of his combo, I think. Alright, and you see him start us off. Mandork, go. Classic Elf, start. We did see him start to put some real power on the board that turn 3 when Joe was comboing out. I do think the next turn would have been problematic if he had been allowed to untap. But turn 3 combo win is pretty good. Alright, second, Land War Elves, plays the Cradle, tap for 3 total for a morph. You can only guess that's going to be an Nantuko Vigilante. And while UC doesn't have the mana to activate right now, he will probably hold that mana up for future turns. Also have to think all 4 naturalizes coming in on the side for UC. I don't think the Tranquil Domain does, because obviously it just hits enchantments. We have not seen any enchantments from Joe. But there is an altar playing to the face down morph. Very dangerous. Basically saying, you gotta have an answer here, or I will win. Now, of course, there's the Multani's Acolyte. Draw a card. Now, of course, UC can wait till Joe casts his Devourer, sorry, before activating on the stack the Vigilante. But once that Devourer resolves, that is lethal, because Joe can just keep activating in response. And UC deciding how much damage he wants to get in for. Seeing how many cards are in hand. I think you do just swing with, at the very least, the morph. If that's not an Nantuko Vigilante, you still swing, I think. Okay, tapping for some mana here. 4 floating. Oh, has a survival in hand, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna play the survival. So this is all happening before combat, I believe. And are we gonna see some... Actually, alright, there's a priest for 2. Okay, then get in for 2. So just building the board a little bit, preparing for next turn. Still has the mana up to flip the Vigilante, I believe. Alright, Vigilante is just 2 to flip. Anyways, now we're in Joe's turn, who is probably casting that intuition to... Well, I'm not exactly sure what you grab. Do you grab Tinker? Possibly. I think that makes the most sense, that you can then sack the Mind Stone. Right, you should have... Actually, it might just be 1 mana off. And... Yes, much better dice for camera. Is just gonna pass. All right, in response, pitch. Yeah, my Granger. What are we grabbing? Grabbing the squee, makes sense.
Oh, I wish. Are you kidding me? Oh. Run one, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Probably not grabbing the anger, considering you pitched, I believe, the one of you have my Granger. Okay, gonna get Tribal Force Mage. This can definitely do a lot of damage.
Some amount of mana. I have 1, 2, I have 3, 5.
And you see just figuring out exactly how much damage that is. I believe it's +2/+2 to each creature for the creature type you name.
We might be able to get there.
Not looking at lethal yet, by any means, but still could be a decent chunk. Got 4 elves, one of which is a 2/2.
We'll see. All right.
So 5, 8,
Here's that for you.
11,
Untap. Upkeep.
14, 15, 16. Oh, that is actually lethal. Yeah, okay. That will be good enough if Joe does not have a response.
Gonna make this more deterministic because I would have
Which, I don't know if he does.
that would make what? 3, 7, 10, 13, 15.
So the Tribal Force Mage,
Flip this.
yeah, you should have the mana to flip this, right?
But what I can do is make this a little bit more deterministic. I'm gonna go fetch.
Okay, fetching here.
Go get a mountain. And
Oh, maybe looking for the mountain just to make sure.
get mountain. And then
Yeah, that makes sense. Then you can pitch the squee, go get
go get Durant.
your anger,
And then
or not.
have
Okay, that's interesting.
and then
Should have gotten the anger first,
4, 5.
right? Because then you can pitch the anger to go get the
Yes, I already-
Deranged Hermit.
Okay. So this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go get a bunch of
Okay, just gonna play out the squirrels.
and that's
Do you pitch the Tribal Force Mage to get the anger?
that, and then we go. This is 5 now because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, 5 floating.
For that, and then flip, and then I'll name Squirrel.
Alright, Tribal Force Mage.
These are all.
He doesn't have anger, he skipped a step.
They still have some.
Oh wait, unless he named squirrels.
Wait, you're so right. It's okay if I redo that.
Yeah, you can undo that.
But the Tribal Force Mage doesn't give
Do is tap this.
haste, right?
Then we go get.
No, it's just trample and +2/+2. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So a missed step here, or maybe just misunderstanding what Tribal Force Mage does have to go pitch the Force Mage to get the anger.
And then
Fucking wrecked by it.
Anger, then
tutor again.
getting something else that can also swing in, potentially.
I tapped for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I activated once to bin this to go get anger. And
He could go get another
now
Hermit, honestly. He's got
Squirrel fella.
the 5 mana.
Deranged Hermit.
Yeah, I think that is the play. 1, 2,
And now
floating mana.
haste with a mountain and anger.
4 more squirrels, sorry. All those squirrels buffed up +2/+2 now, and that is definitely lethal. Yeah, okay. We found the line anyways. A bit of a skipping a step, I think. Should have gotten the anger first, then the Hermit. And then you could have played out the Tribal Force Mage as well. But Joe is going to Intuition here in response.
Yeah, might as well just double check.
I'm not sure what he could have that could save him. Oh, a Rushing River, actually. No, can't cast it.
Alright. Yep.
I think he is just dead.
I was just like, also,
Yep, and we're going to go to game number 3. And here we are in game number 3. I do want to mention at the top of this game that it is very difficult to play on camera. You're playing under a bright light, you know people are going to be watching. Stakes are as high as they potentially get for a casual Premodern tournament. I do want you to keep that in mind when commenting, as it's okay to be constructive with your criticism, but if you're being outright mean, you're getting blocked. That's really all there is to it. I've had to do that a bit more recently, lately. I don't know if it's newer people coming into the format, but just an FYI, don't be a dick. That's all I ask. It's okay to point out misplays. It's okay to call out questionable decisions and why you think you would do it a different way. But yeah, if you're being mean, just don't. We won't have it here. You can go be mean somewhere else in some other corner of the internet, just not on this Premodern channel. Anyways, Joe did not like his 6, so we're mulliganing for a better hand, and I'll cut to when he's got a keeper. Joe looking for 6 here. A very convoluted cut there from UC. But he gets the job done. And we see a Tinker and a Fling. And was that a Devourer as well? The very last card? I'm not sure. It might have been an altar. It might just have everything. Well, if it's an altar, he's putting the altar back. Which might not be the case. Now, he's got the Fling, so he can just Tinker for the Devourer and then Fling it. Also has an Underground River to potentially take care of any morph creatures. But just gonna play a land and pass. And Carrion Ranger here for UC. No mana to work this time. Not sure what the draw was for Joe there. Oh, Ancient Tomb. Okay. Plenty of mana, not doing anything with it just yet. And notably, it has Tinker, but does not have an artifact to sack to it. Now, you see giving a little think here. Just going to go to combat first and swing for 1. Chip damage, very important for the elf deck. It does win in lots of little cuts. Playing a priest and a cradle and pass. Gearing up for a very big next turn. City Brass here for Joe. Does have the Factor Fiction and the mana to cast it. We'll wait, I think, for UC's end step, though. Alright, tapping for 3 here for a Tangle Wire. And this is where the elf deck can really shine against slower, more control-y, or even combo decks who don't really play a lot of permanents. Now, Joe's deck does play a lot of permanents. We just haven't really seen any this game. Okay, in response, in UC's end step, we are going to Factor Fiction. So let's see what the pile is here. Fling, Lotus Petal, Gemstone Mine, Crystal Vein, and Impulse. Not a great pile, and I do think wherever Lotus Petal ends up, that will be where Joe decides to go. And Lotus Petal Impulse seems like a pretty good pile, to be honest. You see trying to figure out the piles here. Fling obviously very dangerous, but Joe already has one in hand, so there's no way he's picking that. I don't think you can put too much weight with the Lotus Petal, as Joe has not played out any artifacts, so this is an interesting call. I don't know what the bright pile is here. I would probably not put Petal and Fling together. Petal and Impulse also seems bad. I'm not entirely sure. I might put the lands and Fling together, maybe. No, I guess I do like, okay. Yeah, Lotus Petal and Fling better than Impulse and lands. And Joe, of course, going for the artifact here. Alright, yep. Tangle Wire is going to trigger. Joe does have to tap all his lands. And, yeah, it does take a point from the City of Brass as well. Luckily, he doesn't have to take damage from Ancient Tomb. Alright, so we got Tinker, Fling, and the Altar. So Joe can play out the Petal and the Altar, because he has that City of Traders. And UC will need 2 pieces of artifact removal to get through this, I believe.
I'm at 19. I know my life total matters a lot here.
Actually, that's gonna remind me. Is Lotus Petal a tap and sack? I believe it is. Okay, so that makes it a little worse. For Alter Dementia, I don't believe you need to tap it. You can just sack a creature.
I've been greedy with my factory fictions today. And almost every time I'm like, big pile,
Big pile.
big pile.
Looking it up real quick. While UC goes and gets a mountain, which is pretty indicative of having
Free my friend.
an anger. Or at the very least, a survival.
Upkeep, trigger, do it the correct way. That. Drop.
Okay, Forest here for turn. Gonna tap it. Alter Dimension does not require a tap, just FYI. Alright, plays out a Land Elves. This Cradle now tapping for 3. Priest of Titania also tapping for 3. So it has functionally 6 mana available to him right now. Well, with a Kirin Ranger, I guess it's actually more like 9. What can you do with 9 mana? Potentially more if he taps the Priest first and then plays out more creatures for the Cradle. I don't think he's got a survival, otherwise he would have slammed it. Oh, we're actually getting in for 2, getting aggressive here. That is a good sign for Joe, a bad sign for UC. Probably has at least a naturalize, but like I said, really needs to have 2.
Naturalize.
Okay, there's 1 naturalize on the altar.
And pass it.
Say go. Doing this in his main phase is actually relevant because Joe now has 1 less thing he can tap. So he has to tap down 3 things. Gonna tap the Ancient Tomb. Still needs 1 more. And actually might be relevant here. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna leave a City of Traders and a City of Brass up. I believe Joe just drew his own Tangle Wires. I would have taken them out in this matchup. And I might just pass here and Rushing River the Tangle Wire on UC's end step. Or do you even care about the Tangle Wire at that point? No, actually, I don't think you do. Well, no. This is a Mindbender. I don't know if... Yeah, I think maybe you do Rushing River. The Tangle Wire. Okay, there's a Multani's Acolyte. It kind of all depends on how UC's turn is going. If he lands a survival, that is problematic. But just swinging for 3 is pretty good for you. For Joe here, I do think you, yeah, Rushing River the Tangle Wire. You need those other 2 permanents to stay untapped. Next turn won't matter as much, but I do think very relevant. Okay, looks like UC having a few things to do on end step. We'll be making a little bit of mana for another priest. Say go. Oh, we are seeing the Rushing River here. Yes, okay, I think UC is in trouble. We'll see if Joe has the line figured out. I believe he's got the mana to do it. I'm gonna tap 1. 2 more. Sack the pedal to Tinker.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll go find a Dreadnought. Yep, or Devourer. Sorry. It's a Phyrexian, it's just not a Dreadnought, it's a Devourer. Not quite as scary, but in this instance, just as scary. We are going to start going through the deck. He does have to shuffle it. Oh, yep, UC's just going to give him a fist bump. Yeah, he's like, I know you got the flings. Yeah, that is good. And Joe takes it down in 3. Really cool set of games. I do think UC maybe drawing a little unfortunate there, not being able to find survival in all but only one game. Anyways, if you made it this far, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel yet if you haven't already. I do 3 videos a week, most of which are pre-modern. If they're not pre-modern, they're old school, and it is of course the best way to find your way back here. If you've been subscribed for a while, consider joining the Patreon. You may notice all the wonderful names displayed on screen right now. Those are my current patrons. You are all amazing. I could not do these videos without you. Money from the Patreon goes directly back into the channel, gear upgrades, travel expenses to go to other tournaments to get even more event coverage, and just helping me make more videos in general. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.